name's Artemis, and if there's one thing I absolutely love, it's paws, but alas, this is not yet another excuse for me to flash my paws in front of the camera because, let's be honest, I've done enough of that by now. But obviously another great love of mine is tea, and what better way to show my love and appreciation of tea than to go through its storied history, which is exactly what we're gonna fucking do. Tea had its humble beginnings in China, as I'm sure we're all aware. Legend says that it was actually in 2737 BC, so a long-ass fucking time ago, when Emperor Shen Nung came across it. God, I hope I pronounced that right. In some sort of, well, act of fate, I would say.
My Emperor, I have prepared your boiled water.
Thank you, my loyal sir. Hang on, what the fuck is this shit floating in here?
My liege, the winds blew the leaves from this tree and...
You mean to tell me you're giving me shitty leaf water? Some crap blew into my drink and you expect me to just chug it down?
Sire, I most humbly...
What if this killed me? What if I drank this and I fucking died? You know what, actually, let's try that, shall we? How about I chug all this down, and if I die, you can explain to everybody why their fucking emperor is dead on the floor.
But, my lord...
No, actually, no, that's not half bad at all. That's pretty fucking nice. I think, like, maybe, just maybe, we could adopt this as like a national drink of our country.
I am overjoyed to have discovered this...
No, this is my legend, okay? No one's gonna remember you. Now fuck off and make me some more.
Of course, there's no real indication that any of that is 100% true, but fuck, it makes a nice story, right? From there, it blossomed across the world, with Buddhist monks taking it back to Japan, and, I mean, damn, it really entered into their culture there, didn't it?
Oi, look, found some fucking leaves on the floor. You think I can actually pass this off as like a delicacy when we get back home? See if people like adopt it and shit?
Nah, they'll never go for that. Daft bastard. Wow, fuck. They really went for it, didn't they?
Yeah, I mean, shit, I did not expect that to take off.
So how did tea make it to the UK? Well, first it had to make it to Europe. Now, tea became the national drink of China during the Tang dynasty, but didn't actually make appearances in Europe until the 16th century, which was like 600 to 800 years later. How the fuck did it take so long? Oh, right, wars and plague and famine and all that shit, I forgot. And while the Portuguese were the first to even mention tea, it was actually the Dutch that were the first to import it commercially. And that's what opened the gates to this wonderful beverage that us Brits would soon adopt and then claim all ownership over. You know, pretty much standard procedure for anything that enters the empire at that stage. Now, Britain had always been a little bit suspicious of foreign trends. I mean, hell, snobbish superiority is what the British Empire was built on. Wasn't really likely that was going to change. But it was the marriage of Charles II to Catherine of Braganza that really helped tea establish itself in this country. Mainly because she was a Portuguese princess and a fucking tea addict, as if tea was opium and crack. Jesus, she loved that shit.
Prepare the royal drink.
My liege, this is just water with dried leaves in it. Are you sure this is right?
Look, the wife is fucking mental about this weed water, alright? And if we don't play along, it's me that's gonna get it in the neck. So just boil it, pour it, and swallow it quickly. It's what I do.
I mean, if that's what you command, my lord.
It's fine. I'm sure she'll get over it eventually. This shit never lasts long.
But of course it did. First the royal court loved it, then the wealthy upper classes, and it was actually in 1664 that the first order was placed. £100 of China tea from Java through the East India Company. Fairly certain I remember something bad about them. Obviously this was becoming a sophisticated and elite drink for the ruling classes, and measures had to be taken to ensure it stayed that way.
Sir, this tea mania is really heating up. Like, even the working classes are enjoying it.
Hang on. The working class is enjoying something. That's not the fucking way this country works, sunshine. Let's nip that in the fucking bud right now. Put a tax on it. 25 pence on the pound.
Seriously? But that will stop sales entirely.
Drastic measures are needed, my boy, in order to stop these fucking peasants having even the slightest hint of self-worth.
So, tea sales have almost completely stopped.
Bollocks. I told you a tax that high wouldn't fucking work. What's the least that we could charge that's still too expensive for them to afford it, but it doesn't stop the sales?
5 pence on the pound?
Fuck it, worth a try.
And of course, the poor did exactly what they do every time they want something and told they can't have it because they're too poor. They found a way to get it on the cheap. Tea smuggling became a huge industry, with a purported £7 million of tea being smuggled illegally into the country each year. Compare that against the £5 million of tea that was actually brought in legally, and you can tell just how big this market was. Problem is, there was no quality control, so you can pretty much do what you want. Haven't got enough tea to sell? Fuck it, add some other leaves. In fact, why don't we just brew up some tea, dry that shit again, mix it back in. And if it doesn't look right, we'll just add some sheep shit. No one's gonna notice anyway. And actually, that does go to explain the taste of certain brands of tea, now that I think of it. Finally, in 1784, there came a time when a decision had to be made.
You know what? Fuck it. This whole taxation thing has been a huge pain in the balls.
Well, what is it you'd like to do, Prime Minister William Pitt the Younger?
I think it's time to... Wait. Why the fuck did you say my name like that?
Well, you're the new Prime Minister, and I'm not sure anyone really knows who you are yet.
Oh, right. A bit of a kick in the teeth, but fair point.
So, what should we do about the taxation, Prime Minister?
You can take it and fuck it sky high. Get rid of it entirely. And I'm pretty fucking certain that our smuggling problem, that'll be over practically overnight.
Right, yes. I'm sure of it.
Say it again.
I don't think it needs...
I'm sorry, what happened to the tea smuggling?
It stopped.
Oh, right, okay, that's good. How long, roughly, would you say it took for the tea smuggling to stop?
About a day.
Right, okay, so one day it was happening, the next day it wasn't, right?
Yep.
So, you could say it stopped...
Practically overnight, sir.
You're goddamn right it did!
Yes, once the taxation had fucked off, it became affordable for pretty much everybody, and its true money-making ambitions came to fruition. Thanks to the expanse of the British Empire, tea plantations were pretty easy to come by, with Sri Lanka and India producing Ceylon and Assam teas respectively. And of course, India came into the empire the good old-fashioned way.
Oh wow, this really is a wonderful, beautiful, exotic land.
Thank you. We call it India. It's pretty sweet, right?
Oh my, yes. I'm so honoured to welcome it to the British Empire.
The what?
Why, the British Empire, my boy. Your land is sure to be an integral part of it indeed.
Right, but we're not a part of that.
You sure? I mean, I was talking to my friends, the East India Company. You've met them, right? And they were telling me how they've pretty much taken complete control of the country thanks to using Mir Jafar as a puppet.
Ah, yeah, that whole shitstorm. But that would mean that we would be under company rule, not some sort of, I don't know, British Raj.
Now, normally, you'd be right, but you see this really handsome fellow called William Pitt the Younger, you know, the guy who scrapped the tea tax. Hello? You see, he passed the Pitt India Act of 1784, thereby taking control of the East India Company and, you know, by extent, India itself, and establishing this, what was the phrase you used?
British Raj?
Yes, that!
Fuck.
Exactly! Now let's plant some fucking tea.
So when you take all of that and combine it with the rise of the tea clippers, these huge fucking sleek ships that were, you know, their whole purpose was just to glide through the sea as quickly as possible to transport the tea, you can see exactly why it was able to take its place as the nation's drink. And that's not just some flowery sentence I threw in because it sounds like it actually became official during World War I when the government actually took over the import of tea to ensure that this morale-boosting beverage had a constant supply to those who needed it. And then once again in World War II, we did the same thing. We showed it's important by rationing it. It was so important that everybody had their own fair share that the government even stepped in and said, you are getting this amount. And of course, a great many traditions have sprung up around this, including afternoon tea.
Do you know what really fucks me off?
Women getting the vote?
Well, I mean, it is the 1800s, so historically speaking, yes, that would be something that would piss me off.
The previous statement was a reflection of the attitudes of the time and does not correlate with Artemis's own opinions on women's suffrage or women's rights. Artemis believes that everybody should be treated equally and fairly, except children. Fuck them. He thinks they should be stuffed back in the workhouses, you know, Oliver Twist style.
But More importantly, there isn't actually a meal between lunch and dinner, and I get so hungry before dinner, which obviously every upperclassman knows could be served as late as 8 p.m.
Well, of course it is. Everybody knows that dinner could be served as late as 8 p.m. in this era, the 1800s. But have you not heard the news?
Pray tell!
Well, you know Anna, you know, the 7th Duchess of Bedford? Well, she's created this thing called afternoon tea that fits right in between and, you know, filled that little black hole in our lives.
Huzzah! Another reason to spend money on frivolous bullshit whilst people starve in the street. I love it.
Now, I've been told to include this little segment, but I'm not sure it really contributes too much to it all. I don't think it's really a matter of importance. But yes, in the early 20th century, the tea bag was invented by the Americans. But it was really truly adopted in the 70s by us. And then from there, it actually grew to prominence. So be honest, who actually had more of an effect over the success of that particular invention? Hey, I'm fairly certain we can take the credit for that one, if I'm honest. So there we have it. That's pretty much the history of the best beverage to ever grace us mere mortals. And it kind of makes me a little bit thirsty. And if you want to show your appreciation, go and find some Dorset or Yorkshire tea, some good stuff. Brew yourself up a nice little cup of history and join me. Cheers. Oh, fuck yes.